Hey, Kimmy, baby, I had a book over here in this drawer. You seen it?
You mean a little black book? Oh, honey, I cleaned out those drawers in that whole room and made a big donation to Goodwill. But don't worry, we can get you another one.
Oh, hell no. You're never going to believe what happened to me today at the Goodwill. I found a book of C phrases, honey. I can get those hair transplants now. Oh.
Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. Go best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Switch that V6 for the EV, ride around my city, you should come ride with me, yeah. Feel me if you hear me sip, water like a fish, sip, box water to the gillies, yeah. This a new wave, this a takeover. Do it for the future, time to get a world a makeover. Time never stops, no, the timing is not. Time to clean up the block. Streets been a mess, how can I breathe? Smoke in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been, could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate, we need change now. We need solar, we need EV in the game now. Make it changes so the earth we know can stay around. Make it change cause we had no time for playing around. Let's quit the playing around. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green. New car goes zoom, but it's quiet. You can hear me come and think I'm lying. If I said I'm perfect, I'd be lying. I can say I'm perfect, but I'm trying. I'ma give my all till I'm dying. I'm the new Captain Planet, here to make changes, not damage. World on my shoulders while I'm standing. I'm the new Captain Planet, here to make changes, not damage. World on my shoulders while I'm standing. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green.
Vagabonds and marriages, that's going wrong. Glory, death, and coffee shops. TV categories called reality. Polluted nature by corrupt ministries. We're all passengers. Let loose on the train. Have fun, don't stay sane. It's a part of the game. That rumbling sound. In every building, a gamer and a drunk. Green parks with shitting dogs. Hey policeman, I'm in 3 modern families. Faster, slower, shades on, hit the gas. Higher, lower, get into the control room. Don't get older. We're all passengers.
Welcome everyone to the Daytime Crypto Charts with Road Dog. Getting ready to get started in just a few seconds.
Have fun, don't stay sane. It's a part of the game. Abstainers, maintainers, rangers, gainers, entertainers, campaigners, retainers. Let loose on the train.
If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome everyone to Daytime Crypto Charts with Road Dog. My name is Lane and I am your tour guide for this evening as we take a look at everything. But first, I just want to remind you that if you don't have a Tangem wallet for your NFC enabled phone, you are missing out on one of the most secured wallets out there, the most versatile wallets out there, the easy to use wallet out there. Just lets you tap and go. So cool. Tangem, need one. 10% off if you use the coupon code DAWG. Just saves you 10% off. Version 1 or version 2. Now let's take a look at what's going on in crypto today. On the hour, they got a little mixed bag. Red coins, green coins. It's just a nice little, you know, you mix those together and you get kind of brown. Like, Not the most exciting day in the market, but there is a little something there to look at. So guys, welcome to stream. If you are new, if you are tuning in live or just checking this out a little bit later, I'll encourage you, if you can, check out our night streams too. That's where all the alpha usually presents itself for all the new projects and we start diving into altcoins. But today on the daily, as we head into this weekend with some curious, how would you say, events. Today is Friday the 13th, historically the scary day. Tomorrow, actually, I've said this was Friday the 13th before, mistaken, just kind of narrow this down for this part of the world. In North America and some parts of Central and South America, there will be a total solar eclipse tomorrow, Saturday the 14th. Will that affect Bitcoin's price? I don't know. Let's wait and see. There are some theories that Bitcoin being now in a solar cycle, that it may have an effect. I am not an expert on that field of analysis, but it's just something to throw out there and look at, because markets say it's an interesting time right now. So looking at the weekly, we have had a green dot, have not confirmed a red dot, but things are kind of in an iffy place on the weekly with Bitcoin, leading us down to a 3-day chart that we're looking at for some information. Now, this 3-day chart does give us some downside. Now, I want you to notice what is going on right here, is that we have this trend line here. We broke out, retested it. Usually about a 64% chance that you will retest that trend line on a breakout such as this, a bullish megaphone pattern, a falling, rising, broadening pattern, if you want to start getting a little bit more specific on the details. But this particular pattern has a 72% chance to break to the upside. 72% is pretty good. The only concerns I have on this particular chart is that some of our indicators are kind of tired, indicating they want to break. We're in the middle of an Ichimoku cloud, which is no territory, really. It's kind of neutral, kind of like it's an easy place to get your butt spanked on most time frames. This been on the 3-day, we just been smack dab in it for a while as it try to figure out what's going on. But usually what you see is that we come down to the downside. Now I want to contrast that with where we are on the opposite situation on the weekly, the bigger time frames. Your larger time frames are looking maybe a little bit more promising, at least on some of the indicators here. So being in a red Ichimoku cloud usually spits us out to the upside. Now, whether that will be greatly good or not, I mean, we could easily come up here to these great 30,000 areas, 29.5, something in that area, and get rejected again, make a bearish pattern, come down, or we could just kind of range out. We just have to take it as it comes. We can't predict exactly where Bitcoin is going to go. That's just silly. But we as traders and investors want to kind of narrow down the probabilities, adjust our risk accordingly, and see if we can make some cheddar. I need something that says cheddar on it, because all I got is... Why are you not working, baby? The Bitcoin. We want to see Bitcoin rain. So currently Bitcoin's coming in at 26,773. Let's come down to the more current time frames that we're looking at. We're here on the 1 hour. Is this guy bullish? Is it bearish? Perhaps I stepped here a little too soon. Let's come down to the 4 hour. Larger time frames have more influence on the smaller time frames. We can see the moves occur on the smaller time frames. They kind of influence, say, hey baby, kind of flirt with the bigger time frames to get them to change their mind. But the bigger time frames way out. They're the big dogs. So on the 4 hour, we are still below the 200 moving average. As long as we're below that, we're bearish technically. We are. When we get above it, ooh, we're bullish, and we're looking for some upside. So first key level that we need to reclaim is the 200 moving average coming in at 26,873. And I'm looking at the Bitcoin to US dollar perpetual futures over on MEXC. If you do not have a MEXC account and like my channel and would like to help support me to keep this channel going and doing what I do, you can start an account over there, whether you use it now or use it later. It's always good to have an extra account. I'm just saying, you need liquidity, you need exit strategies. Multiple accounts is on your side. Currently, right now, one of my most recent favorite trading platforms to use is Bitunix, where I do have a short that I started going in more up in these levels. I think my entry price is now 27,767. I've taken a little profit, adding a little to this trade as we kind of come up. I'm milking this baby. I'm trying to milk this. It's a small account. It's a tiny account. This account was just right under $100 when I put it over here. And currently my account equity, we're up about 20% overall. It takes you a little time, but a great way to test and learn your perpetual trading strategies. $100 deposit, get a $10 bonus over here at Bitunix. Actually, they've got an October campaign going on. I think they're actually giving out a little bit more. Check that out over on Bitunix with the link below and get the perks that come with that if you're interested. If you are interested, but I'm over there trying to build this little thing up on stream from $100, 20% up. So there we go. You don't always have to start out with a $5,000 account. Hey man, just being realistic. When I started dipping my toes into crypto, it was small amounts of money because I'm like, I don't know if I trust this asset. I don't know. Let's fill it out. I don't want to put everything in there. So in my opinion, I think most people sincerely start out with small amounts. They just don't jump in with all their life savings into crypto. So if you feel like you need to put like a $2,000 thing on your leverage trading, well, that's up to you, but you don't have to. You need to prove your skills and see if you can actually take a $100 account and double it. And once you can prove that you can do that, then you can feel a little more confident in your skills that you can continue that onward without just getting liquidated and smashed, because that happens a lot with the perpetual futures. However, spot DCA investing, oh, that's where you make the real money, baby. Takes a little longer, but that's the big payday. Ooh, that's what gives you this. Win Lambo, baby. When the bags that you collect during this section of the bear market that you kind of nibble out, those quality projects that are going to actually do something, well, that's when Lambo. And the bull market, when they take off and you get 10x, 20x, 100x, some of these things can do 1,000x. So on the perpetuals, things are looking kind of iffy. They like to do this. The market makers love to get us into these kind of situations on the weekend where we don't know for sure what's going to happen. Now, we should be retesting off this trend line. It's a positive sign so far, even though we are still below the 4 hour moving average here on the 4 hour. It's a 200 moving average. So it does indicate that we most likely will fall this weekend. There could be some surprises. Maybe some little whales will come in and play with us. Could get interesting. But more than not, our indicators are just suggesting that we got a little bit more of a downside, probably to test this further. What I'm hoping to not see, let me show you what should happen. Usually price will come out with a breakout, will come down for a retest to test either the price it broke out of, which was about 27,178. We mentioned that. That did not hold. We come down to the trend line, retest it. So far that's holding. But here's the scenario, just depending on the factors at play. I mean, normally this is where you get a bounce and you start working on higher highs. Doesn't have to happen. We're seeing a lot of the coins reflect this idea, meaning that Bitcoin could also follow suit, where we just kind of ride this little baby down, and that will be very disappointing. Could be expected during this weekend, so do trade carefully. This is where we kind of look at our market indices to see what's going on, and we can see the Bitcoin dominance is coming down. Now, this could be profitable for altcoins. It's trying to be. If you will take a look over to me with the left-hand corner, upper right left-hand corner over here, we see that we've got total 3 market cap. This is all the altcoins minus Bitcoin and even minus Ethereum. Excuse me while I wet my whistle. Whistle wetted. This is actually a bullish pattern, this falling channel. It's got a 65% chance, about 64% chance, I believe. According to Thomas Wachowski, that's where you get your stats. You don't get them from some random person on YouTube that just kind of guesstimates. Have details. Patternsite.com. You want to document, you want true statistics on the things you're playing, because you're playing with your money. And there are YouTubers out there that just don't care. They just throw 68% around a lot of time for just about everything. Don't have accurate statistics. So if you want to be more accurate in your pattern trading, I recommend Thomas Wachowski books and his free site that has all that information available for you free without you paying for somebody's freaking trading group, which is going to copy this information and give it to you and then charge you for it. This is how it works, baby. Trading groups are really more of a community thing, which in my opinion, I think that they should be free, and there's lots of good ones out there. I have a Telegram group with the links in the description below that is free, have lots of information available. Natalie Big Consensus is another one that I really admire. She has a very good trading community that's free, shares information and ideas. Free resources, open source. Bitcoin was open source, remember that. Big proponent of that. Anyway, we do see the probability that it could just ride this down before maybe getting bullish. It could still break into the pattern. If it does, that's not good news. We don't want to see it break back into this pattern. This to be a bull trap, trapping all long people, longs, spots, people buying high, and then dumping on them to get them scared and eventually sell. Market makers, big money, players that be that are in this space now, you gotta watch them, can't trust them. They're going to try to take your Bitcoin, and they're going to try to take your money and altcoins, and they're very good at it. So trade carefully. Just know you got to be better than most other traders if you want to make it in this market. You do that by learning technical analysis, and then you do that by honing in on your trading skills, your own personal trading styles, and your emotion. So those are the things that we kind of talk about routinely on my channel. I do like what I just saw here. You gotta know that we just flipped a green dot on this candle. So we've got a little game playing right here over this weekend, red dot, green dot. So a lot of the little sideways action is what this is just now telling me. So maybe come down here, maybe just trade sideways. If we come down into a smaller time frame on the 1 hour, you can see the possibility that we've got a pattern that is starting to form here. Very good one to look at when we're at a reversal area like we are right now. We're technically a reversal area where we test this trend line we just talked about, tested that same area without coming down further. So this scenario, while possible, come down lower, it's not showing signs that it wants to do that yet. Have to keep an eye. Remember, low liquidity weekend. Sneaky whale manipulators may come in on the weekend. Most institutions wait on the weekdays, but we could be doing something like this: inverted head and shoulders, 64% chance to break out. Let's go verify that I am correct on that at the patternsite.com, and I can demonstrate how to use this. You go to charts, you do index. We're looking for a head and shoulders patterns, which will be under the H's. This will be a head and shoulders bottom. And here's all the stats that you need. All I do is tell you what they are. Not every pattern has a breakout percentage. Just know that. So I cannot confirm this one has a 65% chance to break to the upside. So see, don't believe everything. There is a 65, this could be easy, There's a 65% chance that the volume will trend down in this pattern. Let's take a look at that. So our volume trending down. Yes, it is. Totally in here. Beautiful. Looks like it could be playing out. And there is a percentage meeting the price target of a measured move, 71%. What that means, my friend, is that if we do validate this pattern, the price comes back up here and confirms it, because it's not confirmed right now. It's just possible. It could happen. It could not happen. So if you call this out early, you're taking a risk. If you're a YouTuber calling this out early, you're putting your audience at risk of jumping into a trade that's not yet confirmed. Now, the degens out there like me, oh yeah, we love that. We kind of form a little channel that we're in, seeing the possibility of buying as close as we can to these areas. Right down here, we take that risk for more upside. And that allows us to put a tighter stop loss and control our risk better, buying at the bottoms of these possible patterns. Remember, inverted head and shoulders, but also a straight channel. Same measure move for both of them, which could possibly, once confirmed, and once there's a breakout to the upside, can be. We do have an Ichimoku cloud with a little sliver of green. I always look at that for possible up breaks. I like it when we're inside the red cloud, usually a good sign. So weekend might have some benefit. Now, this measure move, should this play out, again, however this does, whether it just immediately starts making its way up there, could. 1 hour's got a little bit of bear sentiment going on right now. It's usually in the later in the evenings when we start seeing things turn the other way. So just keep that in mind. Maybe later tonight we'll look for things if they're starting to show a little sign of maybe going the other way, and especially Saturday. The weekend can be very interesting. And then, of course, CME Futures comes back into play Sunday evening. And if there's a price difference from where we actually close today in about 1 hour and where that opens up, there's like a little weekend gap for them that they often like to come back and fill, because they're the big dogs and they like to manipulate price down so they don't miss out on the action. Keep these things in mind. The more you understand about how the markets work and what's really propelling them and happening, it does help you trade a little bit better. Do you have a measure move from this? It will take us up to 2018 area approximately. Now, remember what we saw back here on the pattern site where we have a 71% chance of meeting that? Well, here we go. That's the actual measure move. We take a little Fibonacci retracement. Oh, we come from top to bottom, bottom, top, and so 100% scale. May knock this little guy down, guesstimate about 71% right there. I'm shooting between the 786 and the 618 Fibonacci to kind of help me tone that in. Look where we come up to, right where we have this little line here. Right where we have support resistance area, key area to get past. That's coming in at 2712. So I'm going to put this as my Bukowski measured move, which has a higher likelihood of hitting. However, the typical measure move, still valid. So we got two possible measure move targets. This one's already marked up here. I don't want to, well, can I put a line just right over it? Another blue line there. Blue lines are my measured moves. That's how I keep them separate. Those are some of the main targets I look at. That one's coming in at 27,227. It's possible we could make it up there this weekend if this pattern confirms. If it does not, it could be leg riding this thing down to about 26.3, 26.5. Possible. So you can't really say anything definitive. Remember, there are some circumstances coming up, and you know, if this solar eclipse does have an effect on Bitcoin, so far from what I've seen more of a sideways action, but who knows? Just keep your eyes open. That's all you got to do. Keep your eyes open, look at the risk. Let's play it, baby. Antonio's in the house. Hey, there's Chris, man. How's it going up there up north, Chris? Doing all right, man? Chris is my admin over in the Telegram group, which I guess since I took the links off, I'm going to start putting the links more into the my video descriptions. I'm going to put them back there. I think there's a way, there's like some links. I don't know. You can still find the links to get there. There are several sections in that trading group. There's a lounge where, you know, cool kids hang out and we can chat amongst ourselves. And then there's some study areas. Now you need a link to get to that, and I'll post all that. So there's like really two main areas, a lounge and then a charts where you can actually have information material, learning materials. Why don't I just kind of show you? Some of you guys might not know. We'll just spend a minute on this. We'll not spend very long. Let me introduce you to the Road Dog Telegram group. This is the main one, the Road Dog Lounge, and then we have one called Chart Room. And I got one using updates, but I've not been posting much there, and that's an optional one where if I find relevant news articles, things like that, I'll post there. I only have 21 people over there. Not many people go there. The lounge is where we have a cool trading bot that will do TA. It's where I post token metrics ideas over there, kind of keep up with Bitcoin. We got a couple of bots, a big Unix bot, and then we have, I think it auto deletes our coin trends bot, which will, man, it will pull in for its AI bot. It's got built-in chat GPT. It's cool. It's free. I got the premium. I'm paying for the service so that you guys don't have to come over here and use it for free. It's there. Use it. Get some TA. See what's going on Twitter. I don't know. It's got all these commands. You can go through there and it does a lot. It will analyze a lot, and then you can bring AI into it. So, guys, free resources. Why are you going to pay these guys? I mean, Coin Trends is a good service, but I'm talking about like these other paid groups. Why do you want to pay them? Just this is all they do. But I mean, that's your option. That's your option. It is your money. You can do it as you will. But for the new people coming in, you don't have to go that route. Everything that you need to know to be successful in this market is available. And I have it available on my site, and it's available other places too. And I've given you some instruction, and Thomas Bukowski's website is a great place to get started. So from here, and quickly, and then we'll start getting into some altcoins here. So we do have the Road Dog Lounge, that's what I showed you, and then we have the cool area where I post trade setups over here. Haven't been doing much lately because I don't want people to get wrecked trying to go long on altcoins. It's just, you know. So if you don't see me posting, it means I'm not really finding anything worthwhile posting so far. I want to take care of my road dogs. So we have trade stand-ups, we got a vanity wall, which, yeah, I put my money where my mouth is and show you that, you know, my techniques just do work. Of course, that does not mean, let's clarify this, that does not mean that is all my trades. There are some losers out there. Everybody wins, everybody loses. But to just show you some ideas about what you could reasonably expect to get. So, and also a student chart section. So if you got questions about a chart, maybe here's where to post it. And this is where Mr. Chris comes in. Mr. Chris, my admin over there, he is turning into a fine analysis. He's posting things up there. I'm like, you got it, baby. You got it. My man, Chris. He is doing such a good job learning how this market works. So Chris may be driving a Lambo next year, may not be having that job that he has. And there's some other things over there, of course. And I do have a course. I've got courses. These are free. These are free courses. You can come over here. I look at all these videos. These are videos. There's all kinds of videos over in these areas that I've got for you. Learn how to trade this market. Free materials for you guys. Don't fall into the trap that you have to join or go for all these expensive paid courses and things like that. You can, but there's nothing new under the sun, my friend. There's nothing new that they are going to teach you that's not already been out there for free. Now, this is one of the reasons why I started this channel, because back in the day when I was actually trying to learn how to do this, there wasn't many resources and they were all paid. Until you figure out, oh, that's where you're getting your information. Oh, that's what's happening. So now I just throw it out there. It's free information out there. First trading group I ever joined was taking me and literally reading Investopedia articles to me as my training. So guys, let's head on over. Now that we see what Bitcoin's possibly going to do, it could be good this weekend. There are some signs showing that Bitcoin may go up. Now that means that Bitcoin dominance might start going to the upside. If it does, that kind of hurts alts a little bit. We want to keep an eye on that. Now, if this starts coming down, altcoins should do okay. If we can get Bitcoin to go sideways, that's when altcoins do the best. Come over here and check out my chat. Antonio's just stopping by to say hi. Thank you for doing that, Antonio. I appreciate your support, my man. And anybody here, if you can, Mr. Elvis has a request.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Very much appreciated. I am not asking you for super chats. I am not asking you for money, but I am asking you for likes. Help this channel grow, reach more people. Help more people change their life and avoid all the crap that is happening in the world. You know it's not going to get better. You need to be prepared. And your fiat money keeps losing value. You need to know how to grow that. And crypto is a great way. Chris says cold and rainy here, but I'm off for a couple days. Hey, good for you, Chris. Glad to hear that. Everybody needs a little break from the man. One Hit Aquita says, what's up, Road Dog? Hey, what's up, One Hit Aquita? Man, I love that name. That's cool. Chris says, I will put a Road Dog sticker on my Lambo. Awesome. Chris has been awesome. He's a very helpful individual. All right, so let's go ahead. If you guys got any altcoins you want me to take a look at, hey, shoot them out in chat. I don't charge. However, if you do send a super chat, I will put that to the front of the line. Just be fair, because I appreciate anybody who does help support the channel, but it is never will be shilled, never will be expected, and that's how I roll. Because, baby, I don't need this channel to make money. I don't need this channel to get wealthy in this crypto market, because I actually do it. I make it happen. I don't rely on YouTube. I made $28 since I've started this channel on YouTube. I don't need it. Other guys, they get scared to death if they lose their channel. They have PTSD, they say, if they lose their channel. Because for whatever reason. I'm just going to run down a little list of things that we've been looking at here. Okay, we're going to start out with G-File. Games for a living. Here's a little warning sign that I can see. This looks a yellow line. That looks like a parabolic structure that I've got. Let's zoom out so we can see what's going on here. Zoom out to the daily here. Yetham, you're flirting with breaking my parabolic. If you guys are not familiar with this coin was showing possibility of doing parabolic movement, meaning number go up and number go up pretty good and impressively. We broke to the upside of a bullish pattern, good sign. We're coming back and retesting that. Now we can still continue up, but the more that we break out of other patterns, such as this one, we were in a rising wedge, that was the original pattern, and then the shorter, more local pattern was the rising channel. We lost that. We got a green Ichimoku cloud. Now I've got a nice little juicy buy zone here if there's a trade here, if this support layer area holds. And that's the 50 daily moving average, which is currently at 0.23 cents. If we can hold around this area and then start moving up, the parabolic activity could continue and this one could make some incredible gains. However, if we start losing this, we need to draw a line in the sand. And I'm going to go from here to here. This would technically be my line in the sand to say, ooh, if we break down below 19 cents, it's probably going to go a lot lower. So let's mark this little guy orange. Make him dotted. Lock him in. Set an alert so I will know when things start hitting the fan, and then I can respond accordingly and save myself a lot of disappointment. Now, there is a very good chance with this pattern, it's a retest. And if we start coming back up, reclaiming our ground, that's what we want to see out of gains for a living. Anything other than that will not be pretty. It's going to come down and we're starting to look at 0.0078. We would rather see us get to, 3.5, 3.3, 4.2 cents. And that's where we could possibly be going if we get a little bounce here and reclaim some of those prices. So this is on the daily that we're looking at. So this is kind of a bigger time frame. Let's take a look at what's going on the 4 hour here, get a better idea. There is some bullish divergence form here. It's hidden bullish divergence, which is a weaker form, and we get that from our price action. For bullish, we're looking at the underneath the price, drawing a line there, and then Usually we're looking at RSI. RSI works out better for me, although some people have a lot of luck with Market Cipher. I just see it play out better with the stochastic or with the RSI. That is coming to the downside. Let's back up. Okay. It looked here like it was kind of level. So technically it's not that strong of a divergence at all. When you actually blow it up and look at the RSI, not as strong as what we want to see. They're both heading in the same direction. So really not even technically divergent. So forget I said that. It's an illusion. That's why you need to pull up your indicators, not just glance at them so much. Check it out. Make sure you're right. What else can we do here? Got a trend line there. You gonna do something? You gonna pop out? You know, you can chart the indicators just as you can the price action to give you ideas of what's gonna happen. I don't see a breakout yet. Looks like it might try. Now, if we take a look at Market Cipher, it is saying that there is some divergence right here and possibly right. It's a little slanted, ask me. Markets, let's see, VMC is a free version over on TradingView that you can get for free without a subscription. And I don't think the regular Market Cipher actually spells out these divergences. So that's a plus that the free open source version of that does have. Looking at my moving averages and my other indicators, it could get a bounce here, but it's going to have to struggle with these areas over here. These moving averages are starting to look bearish. They're bearishly costing on the 4 hour, a bigger time frame. This may not hold, people. This may not hold. This may be it for gains for a living. And if you're looking for a pattern confirmation, I mean, we had the rising channel right there, those 2 white lines. Now we can look in within that for another pattern to give us a clue. Okay, this is not the major pattern. The channel is the major pattern. This is a minor pattern, which can give us an indication of what to expect, it being a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. I really like it when these shoulders are lower than this one. Can't always get what you want, says Mick Jagger, and I agree. There is a breakdown, but you know, the measure move from this is pretty much right where we're at. So really, we gotta look, are you in a reverse or not? There are some signs here. Look, Market Cipher does have the green dot. May get a bounce here, but my moving averages say, well, even if you do, it may not be long-lived because they got a little cycle that they play up and most likely will not get above the 50 moving average without a big fight. So I'm not seeing this get above 2.5 cents on the short term with what I'm presented with on the charts at the moment, but I do see the possibility of a short-term move at least up to that. Is there a trade in here? There possibly is. Let's set one up. You guys interested for gains for a living, trying to add to your bags or something like that? You're at a great spot, really. Because you can really, especially if you're doing leverage or something like that, you definitely want to play it this way. Because if you can get in a support area just like this guy, you can set really tight stop losses because you know if you break this line, this idea is invalidated. No reason to be in this trade. Let's get out with a minor loss. There's just maybe a tiny little fraction of what we're putting in there versus not having that stop loss or doing a bigger stop loss. So just up to the target that we had, 2.5 cents, that's a 13% gain, 2.69 to 1 risk reward ratio. Not that great, but if this is part of a bigger move that we're looking at, this could turn into a substantial trade. Because if we take this up to our measured move, because that's what we want to do, we want to play this for a bigger move, right? We're not trying to scalp this stuff, do 3% a day. How are you gonna buy a Lambo if you're only making 5 cents a day or $2 a day, and having to work all day to do that? No, baby. No, we want bigger moves. Don't get it. This is what we should see trade out, and if we lose it, if we come below this wick that we just had, this trade's invalidated. The stop loss there about 5%. Figure out, well, how much you want to lose. If that 5% is $20, $20 is all you want to lose, well, figure out how much money you need to put into this trade with the trading calculators for leverage. Spot doesn't matter. You just buy it and set your stop loss and you're good. Leverage, you got to kind of do some tweaking, but you can use it to your advantage. And just spot trading itself is a 48% return. You don't have to trade leverage. You do not have to use leverage in this market to make life-changing money. Get that through your head. And when you do, you're taking a risk of losing what you're trying to work with. So I recommend leverage a much smaller proportion of your account, your overall account, than what you use in spot. You could do very well in spot. A lot of trading groups don't even do leverage. They're starting to do it now. So we've got a possible trade to the upside. And if it goes to the downside, well, we can short it. If it breaks past that level, that little wick right here on the 4 hour, see this little guy? Right there? That little smudging? That's at 2.1323 cents on this particular chart over gains for a living on MEXC. If we break below there on MEXC, hey, you got a possible short situation, a good short situation coming in, where you could buy a retest and then short this little baby down, make money on the downside. You can make money going up or going down. You can even use 1x leverage and trade that just like spot. Take the risk out of the equation. Leave the gains in. Chris says he's watching LDO. Let's go check that out. I have to remember to keep an eye on my little chat box over here. And Chris says VRA, Floki. Okay, watching LDO. VRA, Floki, and Moon are doing well. Let's take a look at those too. We'll put those on our list here. Anybody else want one? You can quickly do that. I'm not going to, after these, keep this a short stream, and then we'll continue this tonight on the night stream. LDO, let's go with spot over here on Binance. So we got a Bukowski measure move that it could be working on touching. Has not hit it yet. We looked at this for a little while later. The concern I've got is the break of this trend line and the retest of it. So yeah, it can definitely, you can definitely get trades in on a retest, like when they break to the downside, reclaim some ground, and then go to the upside before they get rejected off this trend. There's a trade there. A lot of people trade those. Try to buy it to the bottom. Look at that. That's a 15% move, 17% move. What was the risk reward ratio for that? You put it below this last candle there so you wouldn't get stopped out. 3%, 4 to 7 risk reward ratio, or risk reward ratio. That's a great trade. So a lot of people do that. But overall, from what I'm seeing, this has a possibility to be a little bit bearish. As you know, here's what we're going to see. Usually, when you break to the downside of this, of these patterns, lose a trend line, it usually does work its way down. However, not always, not 100% guaranteed. Sometimes, and we've seen this a lot in the market, if it's a strong project, it could ride it. I call it leg riding. It could ride it up a little bit and then still come down. So those are the things we just need to watch out for this. Here on the daily time frame. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame. See if they concur with our ideas of what we're seeing on the larger time frame. One of the biggest things that I do look for on these larger time frames is where are we on this 9 moving average, this green line I've got. If we're beneath it, for me locally on that time frame, this is bearish, because on a bearish trend we're going to ride underneath it. On a bullish trend we're going to ride right above that particular moving average. You need this moving average in your strategy, and it's just crossed over the 21 and the 50 there on the daily. So that tells me that we're likely to end up coming down here to about 144. Possible. Let's confer with the 4 hour. 4 hours telling us a little bit of a different story here, so let's pay attention and listen to what it's saying. 4 hours saying we're trying to reclaim some ground. So we got some conflict of interest here between what the daily is saying and what the 4 hours is saying, but usually the daily wins out. It takes a lot more to change this data than it does this, although this one's going to try. So what we could see is another retest up here, a leg rider. This could be a leg rider. I do want to point this little trick out right here though. So if you notice right here, from this bottom to there, that's a nice little move, right? 7% move. Stochastics went from the bottom to the top. Here, Stochastics went to the bottom to the top. little bit less of a move. Here, stochastics went from the bottom to the top. A little bit less of a move. That means that when they come down, they're going to have more driving power to possibly get a lower low. So that's what I'd be concerned about here. On the plus side, we do have our heavier moving averages here. The 100, that's the white line, the blue line, which is the 50, above this 200. So that's giving me a little hope. But basically, I see a... Are you trying to do something short term with me? Let's take a little closer look at here. Technically, that is a falling wedge right here. All right, here's what we're going to do. Figure out if we got a leg rider. I don't see it being a leg rider. I don't. So we've got to move. So I'd be looking for I'll be looking at a certain Fibonacci retracement. We are well below that. We're at a 786. All right. That is actually a good reversal area for the whole move that we're looking at here. I think we got a possible leg rider right here, ladies and gentlemen. I think she's going to come up to this 618. That's about $1.83. If I had to guesstimate what we do, probably come up there. Then let's see what happens. But still, on the daily, our moving averages are terrible. They're all flipped to the downside. They're wanting to come down. So I'm expecting maybe that might be our second rejection right there. So let's keep that in mind. If you're looking for LDO, just keep an eye on it. She's got some bearish tendencies. But who knows? She breaks back into this pattern. It's on, baby. It's just time to keep a watchful eye on her. And that's probably why Rich says he's watching LDO. He didn't say he's buying, he says he's watching it. He's doing the right thing. Let's go with VRA, Veracity, over on, let's go with the first one we got. This one's over on KuCoin. So we looked at this before. When we get this kind of funky, it's a rising, it's a falling wedge. More of a shallow one, but lackluster breakout. This is not the kind of breakout we want to see. We want to see volume. We had some volume here on this breakout, and then she kind of lost it. She never reclaimed the 200 moving average until over here, and now lost it. So interesting here. Usually when I see this, it just kind of it's usually more of an accumulation thing and a possibility to come back and retest these areas for a double bottom. As when we zoom out to the 3-day, you can see where we got rejected at was the 200 moving average on the 3-day. Man, it doesn't have enough strength to break above that yet. And indicators are saying that she wants to pull back a little bit, so a little bit more downside. But we are above, so far, holding that 9 moving average. And we're holding it on the 4 hours. So those are some key things telling me that we may have a little fight on our hands here. 100 is above the 200, so that adds some strength to our upward movement. 50 crossing that kind of makes us probably trade sideways in a little range for a little bit. Means it's going to have to fight for its ground. That's basically what it's saying. But as long as we can hold, our 2 touches here, this trend line, can we get a bigger one? Can we? No, not seeing a bigger one that we can use there. I mean, well, you zoom out, then you got this guy, which may work. So basically, if I had to put this into a new pattern, it's getting to more of a symmetrical type shape, which I usually don't trade those. So is she going up or is she going down? If I had to bet on it, looking at the daily, I'm saying she's got a good chance to lose some ground here or trade sideways and really fight for it. Doesn't mean there's not a trade on the smaller time frames. Now, this is the trend line we just drew. 2 points, not enough to really, I want 3. I need 3 touches to feel good. So we could move it up a little bit and consider this a bear trap, maybe. maybe be looking at that. Short term, we're looking to come up to this area right here, support resistance flip. That's where we got to get above. If we can get above that, it's a good sign. And that's also at the 200 moving average. So if we can see it, reclaim that on the 1 hour, flip 0.005 cents into support. That's what we're looking for some possible more upside there on Veracity. Right now, it's kind of in an iffy zone. For those that are degens and willing to take the risk, and those who want to be a little bit safer with their money, watch number go up instead of number go, I don't know where it's happening. Buying above 5.15 cents or 0.005. Maybe a little bit of a wiser option. Hey, there's Leandro, man. The proud papa. How's it going, Leandro? Good to see you here. Still tracking old Joy Stream. She came down. We talked about that possibility coming back in here. She's finding support on this trend line. Will it stick? Let's hope. Need to kind of zoom out on this little guy a little bit, see what we've been watching here. Because, I mean, I got a juicy buy zone all the way down through here. At 1.7 cents there. We could see that. I got a bargain area way down here. Doesn't mean it's going to hit. This one was going parabolic. It was looking juicy, and then that changed. And that usually means down and sideways for accumulation. So honestly, this whole box, we could be trading in this range over the next little bit as people start to drive prices down, sell out, take profits, and then reaccumulate. What I like to do is take a Fibonacci from swing low to swing high, and then I will target. Actually, on this, I mean, you can target the 618 at 0.02, but it may not hold. Your 786s and your 886s are really your best. So I'm going to put 2 on here. I want to put a bargain area here. If I can move this. Okay, you're not letting me move this. Screw that idea. Okay, so this is the bargain area, and then this could be a possible turnaround area. That is not what I was trying to do, people. Little rectangle right here. Let's label that as... Let's label that as a possible buy zone. This one should be labeled as a bargain area. Means if it hits there, need to think about getting some if you're interested in this project, but no guarantees it's going to get there. What are you doing? So template, bargain area, label that little guy right there. Also, mark my little area right here as a possible target. 6.5 cents for this whole move here. Shit could happen. If she bounces off this trend line, that's where I'm expecting us to go. Right here. I need to make this one so I can tell the difference. I'll make it a dotted line. So there's a possibility breaking from here. We could eventually, it won't be a straight move. It'll have to fight through it, but there could be 151, 149% return on this. If we bounce here off this 50 moving average on the daily, it can happen. That's usually when you have a strong trend. Let me talk about this. When you have the strong trend, when it is on any time frame, but let's look at the daily because this is where it really matters. This is where we really want to pay attention, the daily and the weekly. If we're above the 9 moving average on those time frames, we are in a very strong trend. Now, eventually you got to correct. Usually comes back to the 21 and then goes up. It may lose the 21, find support, especially if you've got a line. I don't think this established that line, so we can't count that. But sometimes it'll dip below and come above. It does happen. But when it really does more of a major correction, I wouldn't say major, a heavier correction, but still has upward potential, it bounces off the 50 moving average. And this is part of my 5 moving average strategy system, which I just talk about all the time for free. Show you what I see. I ain't really keeping no secrets. And then we could possibly possibly reclaim our ground here. Got to keep an eye on these guys right here. See if they kind of switch up, and they can. They move faster. And let's take a look at Floki now. What, are we through on this one? I think we are. We did say the target up here and the possibility of a good buy zone and bargain area there. Should it, this area not hold? That doesn't hold, I'd actually be looking at the bargain area. May have to wait for it to get there though. You can buy here, but you could watch your portfolio or go down or get stopped out if you're trying to actually trade it. But there's an actual trade here on the 50 moving average though, with a tight stop loss, so you could do it. You could do it. I don't know if I would put it up there too high, but that's workable. And if it can come back up to the 5 cent area, that's about a 90% gain. That's almost a 2x. Almost. Could be if you use leverage. Risk reward ratio with the tight stop loss. It could make it even tighter. Could make it tighter. All right. So Floki is next. So we got that on Mixi. Do I have a chart here? The possibilities of going up to retest it, and it did not do it. It couldn't make it past the 50. Those were the ideas we're looking at. Now, we got the 100. It actually looked like it's trying to make a move now. Let's chart this baby. Let's get our support resistance lines there. We got our horizontal ones there. Now we got this little guy, which the area where we're at is where I really want to see go up, because this support resistance area. We came down and created another one right here though. So now we got some new data to add there that hopefully will help us in making future decisions. In the cloud, there's some good signs this one wants to come up a little bit, and it may start shooting for the 200 moving average right there. This is going to be a good area right here. 2.5 cent. What is that? 0.000025388. That's a key area, support resistance area. Wick down here, wicking up to that area. And that can be a nice little support resistance flip. Make that guy a little red. So there's some targets right there at the 200 moving average. I'll be looking at that. Is there a trade there? Well, we got a 7% stop loss going beneath these other candles, because if you make a lower low, this idea is invalid. So why not put the stop loss there? Sometimes I see people trading and people teaching trading. Not that I have all answers, I do not, but why would you want to put a stop loss way down here, some like 24%, but then you know if you're only going to lose a certain amount of dollars, you're going to get out of the trade? Well, let that be your stop loss. Why do you want to risk losing more if it goes against you? What if you're not paying attention? What if your alerts doesn't go off? What if you get busy? What if there's an emergency? You know, tighter stop loss. If it breaks a lower low, my idea for this busting up to the 200 moving average, it's invalidated. I'm not counting that as that trade. I want to get out of it and minimize my losses, maximize my gains. This one has a 5.66 risk reward ratio, so that makes it a pretty juicy trade. 3 and above is decent, good. 4 is better, and anything above 4 is like, it's gravy. It's juicy. It's yum yum. I like this because we're in the middle of Michimoku cloud in the red, and we got a little sliver of green and a little sliver of red. So watch that. That could be tricky. There's some ideas saying that we could do that. And you might get rejected here at the 100. Possible. It may come back and have to work a little bit to get up there. It may not, you know, don't expect a straight move. This guy's got to work. Remember, we got support resistance area right here. That could be a take profit point right there. What does that look like? That is a 2.66 to 1 risk to reward. You know, it's okay. It's a 20% profit though. So it's a good place to initially take profit, because it's got to get above there. If it doesn't get above there, it's never going to get out here. And if it doesn't get above here, it's coming down. So, and it will stop you out. So you could, when you start getting up here, you can either exit or just raise your stop loss and profit. You got a free winning trade. And then you can figure out if you want to go short. I'm just talking. There is a possibility though, overall, that if we get a rejection, we're coming back to kind of solidify this trend line. It has not come back to touch it. It's a strong trend line. It most likely you want to step on it again just to make sure it's solid before it goes up to any higher highs. Like you're climbing the ladder, you want to make sure that that rung is solid for you. And lastly, let's take a look at Moon. Moon is over on MEXC as well. What are you doing, Moon? Little tricky, but it looks like it's trying to do an opening broadening pattern with a right angled one at that. And let's see. Actually got to look at my cheat sheet on that one. I'm going to say it's like a 55% chance to break to the upside. Here's an example of some of the stuff that you can get over on our trading view or our Telegram group. If I can get MEXC off of there real quick. This is the triangle cheat sheet. So we're looking at this pattern here at the top. I'm pointing with my mouse, but you cannot see it. Top right hand corner, 55% chance that this pattern could break to the upside. Meaning that it would go to the top of the channel, about 65 cents. Or if we find support here. Now, let me not get ahead of myself. 65 cents, and then it has a 55% chance to break out of this trend line, go higher to a measure move. So there could be some upside here. But lower time frames will probably indicate that we've got some downside. So it may actually be coming down to this level. 0.0088 or draw a Fibonacci here. It's at the 786 level. She may be coming down to the 886 right through here. Possible. So keep that in mind. And I say that purely because on the daily we're below the 200 moving average, and if we're below the 200 moving average on the daily, we're bearish. And especially if you've got the 9 crossing there, and if the other ones start crossing, it's temporarily bearish. Temporarily, notice I said that. Remember, we do have the 100 above the 200, and it's still going up. So our bigger time frames are still kind of floating to the upside. It's our smaller ones that are going to kind of play around with these lower prices for a little bit. Idea is to look for some divergence when we actually get to these areas. Looking for some bullish divergence, so following this trend line and then following the RSI down here. Once we see this indicator, instead of making lower lows, that it starts making a higher low, and then we start going up like that, that's the divergence that we want to see. We want to see price continue to come down or sideways a little bit, but down and sideways. And we want to see the indicator make a higher low. That means maybe getting ready to pop, change directions on us. That's the keys to look for when it comes to catching a reversal on your trading. Those divergences that we call it, RSI divergence, is the closest thing to a crystal ball that you have in this market. MACD kind of gives us a little support on that theory because it looks like it wants to try to swing bullish. Got to get an official cross here. Need to see us print some blue candles instead of these red ones officially. Some people front run it. It's risky, but a lot of us do it. And then if you get spanked, you get spanked. And if you get lucky, you get lucky. So it's all in your trading style. Conservatively, you would wait. If you don't want to lose money, you wait. If you're okay with losing some money, or then you can try going early. But it's got to get above this area at 24 cents. So we've got to make a half a penny and sustain it. We got to get above the 200 moving average on the daily. It's not saying it wants to do that. 4 hour looks like it could easily get rejected up here at the 100 or the 200 moving average. There is some little bit of divergence, not the kind we want so much as it's just weak, but it's trying to form a little bit. Let's blow this up like we did. Sometimes you need to take a closer look. Sometimes that glance can be a little deceptive. We saw that earlier. These are kind of going straight, right? So this is more like an exaggerated type. It's actually opposite of an exaggerated. It's a weak form. I would, but it was enough to get us up to the top of the channel, so that's kind of cool. 4 hours is looking promising, being above the 9-moving average. It's trying to make some ground, so we'll keep a closer eye on some of these smaller time frames here. 1 hour is also saying that, yeah, she may be trying to break out of this channel. So she's trying to do something. She's being bullish short term, but you got to pay attention to the bigger time frame here, because the fact that it recently, just a few days ago, pulled this move. If we break up, it's got to get above 25. It's got to get above this 21. It's got to fight on its hands to actually successfully move above this 200 moving average, close a candle above it, and start working its way up and do a breakout. So we need to see a little bit more volume come in on this. So if we get a breakout where we see across that trend line, we won't see a lot of volume here, kind of like what we're seeing over here, kind of like what we're seeing over here. If we're not, volume just kind of trickles. It's a leg rider. Or worse, you break back into the pattern and then go parabolically down. Do a double bottom. So those scenarios we're looking at for Moon at the moment. If you kind of look at what we got here, I mean, we got our bigger pattern, right angled opening, broadening, wedge, which is technically a bullish pattern. May have to retest down here before it starts getting bullish, maybe. But if we look at the pattern within that pattern, well, we got what we call one of those descending triangles. You can see the triangle there. And they usually break to the downside, and a lot of times it's kind of a quick move. This one's found support. Let's see what it does, but then it turns into a wedgie wedge. It may have to come down lower to finish this wedge. Maybe. It's not confirmed yet. But once it forms a wedge, well, that's got a higher probability to break to the upside. So that's the 68%er. The number you hear thrown around so much. Just realize everything's not 68%. They may be close, but it's not 68. Just know where the statistics come from and where to go get the actual statistics. Thomas Bukowski, baby. Stochastic's kind of high, red light, green light going on, Ichimoku cloud. I'm not seeing, I'll be surprised if this gets bullish on the shorter term time frames and breaks out. I will be surprised. I'm kind of looking for a little something lackluster is what I would say. I don't think it's yet time. I would actually say the retest of this trend line will could come into play here. It makes sense that it would, since we lost this key area. And it looks like we're retesting it. And if we can't make it up there, we could be doing something like this. It may, you know, we could range around through here. See this area right over here to the left? That's a support resistance area. So at 14.4 cents, if that holds, you know, we could do a lot of ranging, or we could just dip on down to these and retest this trend line. Eventually, that may be what happens. So not seeing a strong long, but there may be a shorting opportunity there. In my personal opinion. All right, guys, I appreciate you for being here. The time is now 4:51. If you can, hit that like button.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's help spread this channel to other people. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because on the daytimes, I just pop in. I don't really have a set time that I'm keeping just yet. Nighttime, I'm usually streaming somewhere between 10:30 and 11, usually. PM Eastern Standard Time. Of course, you don't always have to catch me live. You can just kind of fast forward through the stuff. And if I start getting enough likes and comments on those, I will start doing my timestamps so that you don't have to flip through there. You can just go right to where you want to go. But I need enough people participating either live or even afterwards just to make that worth my while. It takes some time. Sometimes I really need to work on my sleep schedule so I can stay bright and brushy and bright and make some money in the crypto market. Guys, I appreciate you for being here. Remember, you are in crypto at the right time. You are the true. You guys are, it's hard to screw it up at this point. Hard to do it. We're so low, it's hard to screw it up too bad. So you're in the market, hopefully doing the right things, dollar cost averaging. If you're trading, taking wiser trades, but building that portfolio for the upcoming bull market where you will make your life changing money. And the people that come in when this starts getting talked about more and number goes up and they're like, oh, those are doing good. Well, those will be the people that you will sell to when you take profit. That's how the game works. And then they get educated and learn not to do that anymore. And don't feel bad about it, because that's exactly what all the big money and market makers in Wall Street, that's exactly what they are doing to you right now. Just keep that in mind, and later too. And do it to them as well. But guys, appreciate you for being here, and God bless. Keep your headspace as positive as you can, man. Yeah, you want to be as positive. It helps your trading, helps your mental clarity. You don't want things gnawing at you in the back of your mind or gnawing at your emotions. You're trying to be as zen-like as you can when you approach trading, as neutral as possible. All right. Guys, hope to see you later tonight. Keep God first in your life. Remember, you are blessed to be alive and walking around, breathing, having a family, all the great things, all the blessings in your life. Be thankful for that. You won't always have that. Until tonight, I am your road dog, signing off.